Hey y'all, what's good, beautiful people? It's your girl Tay, and I'm here yet again with another update video. So yes, change of scenery. I'm back in my bedroom. My kids, all of my kids are here. I have split custody, for those of you guys who don't know, with my children. So all of my kids are here, and they are downstairs having their cereal at my dining room table, which is usually where I record. So this is why I am in here, okay? But yeah, you guys, we've got so much to talk about. We're going to go over the names of the states that have currently been approved for pandemic EBT. We've got some child tax credit information. We've got some bills that have recently been passed. We've got a lot of great stuff that we're going to talk about today. So definitely make sure you smash that like button, comment down below, subscribe, plus push your post notification bell button so that way anytime I upload a video, you will be notified. So let's jump right into it, you guys. I'm trying to stay quiet because little man is in the bed next to me sleeping. But as of right now, we have 39 states that have been approved for pandemic EBT on the USDA website. And Alabama, you guys have finally made it onto that website. I remember giving you guys information stating that you guys were going to be receiving your benefits rather soon. I believe it said late spring to early summer, but you weren't on the USDA website at that time, and now you are on the United States Department of Agriculture website. So as of right now, the states that have been currently approved for pandemic EBT, let me get that up for you. PEBT. Okay, here we go. We have Alabama, Arizona, Colorado, Connecticut, Delaware, DC, Florida, Hawaii, Idaho, Illinois, Indiana, Iowa, Kentucky, Louisiana, Maine, Massachusetts, Michigan, Minnesota, Montana, Nebraska, New Jersey, New Mexico, New York, North Carolina, North Dakota, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Puerto Rico, Rhode Island, South Carolina, Tennessee, Texas, Utah, Vermont, Virginia, Washington, West Virginia, and Wisconsin. So those are the names of the states that have currently been approved for pandemic EBT. Okay, we've up to 39 states, not quite 50, 51, whatever, but 39 states. Still waiting on California. I know a lot of you guys have been asking me. I'm in California. As I said to you guys in the last few videos, they are still negotiating with the USDA. And as far as the plan that they submitted, there were some things, and they haven't released information as to what exactly is wrong with the plan that was submitted. All we know is that they're negotiating to get the plan approved as soon as possible. Okay, now let's talk about where we are right now with the stimulus check. So we've got a new set. I think this is the sixth batch of stimulus checks that should have went out Friday. Yesterday, today is Saturday. Happy Saturday to you guys. I hope you guys are relaxing, resting. I know some of you guys are probably at work or probably will be at work by the time I publish this video. But anyways, says the sixth batch of payments began processing on Friday, April the 16th. Was that this past weekend? That was actually last week. Okay, so with an official payment date of April 21st, with some people receiving their direct payments in their accounts earlier as provisional or pending deposits. The Treasury Department released this in a statement. Okay, so like I've been telling you guys so far, they've been following the same schedule, meaning that they generally start updating the system and processing payments on a Friday. So for April 16th, the sixth batch went out and was processed for a exact payment date of April the 21st. So my guess is that there should have been, if there are any more stimulus checks that are left, then those would have been processed yesterday, which was April the 23rd, and you should have a exact payment date of the 28th, because that would be next Wednesday. All right, so for those of you who have not received your stimulus check, then you're most likely going to be in the next batch. Okay, this sixth batch, however, with the payment date of April 21st, includes nearly 2 million payments with a value of nearly 3.4 billion as a part of the American Rescue Plan. Okay, it also includes additional ongoing supplemental payments for people who earlier this year had already processed their 2020 tax returns. Okay, the Department of Treasury also provided these details about the sixth batch of stimulus checks. Nearly 700,000 payments with a value of more than 1.3 billion went to eligible individuals for whom the IRS previously did not have information to issue an economic impact payment for, but who recently filed a tax return. This batch included nearly 700,000 of these plus-up payments with a value of nearly $1.2 billion. Okay, another $600,000 $1,000 in payments went to Social Security beneficiaries and supplemental security income recipients, including those with foreign addresses. Okay. Overall, the sixth batch of payments contains about 900,000 direct deposit payments with a total value of $1.5 billion and nearly 1.1 million paper check payments with a total value of nearly $1.8 billion. Okay, so that is where we are right now with the $1,400 stimulus checks. All right, so they're getting those checks moving. I know you guys are still, a lot of you are still waiting on your tax returns. There's been a lot of frustration surrounding that. I do know that I also saw some information just recently saying that they're holding, and I can't remember the exact amount, but that they're holding quite a few of the paper mailed returns for manual review. Okay, that's pretty common. They were already behind with 2019 tax returns that were mailed in, because they have to actually input those into the system and then process them. So from my understanding, considering the way that it's worded, and I don't know this to be for sure, this is kind of just me putting two and two together. When they put that information into the system, they don't go in directly and process it. It seems like it's a process to that too. Somebody inputs them into the system, and then somebody else, is like an assembly line. Somebody else has to go in and then go through the actual return, and then it goes through the regular process as those that were electronically filed. So there's no shock there for me, you guys. Okay, now let's talk about this child tax credit. Okay, let me get that information pulled up. And somebody mentioned, there was one, I'm not going to say who the person was, but somebody did mention that they felt like as if I never say anything about their state, and I think it was Texas. Let me just say this to you guys. I don't pick and choose what news is put out there for the public to see. Okay, now I have my phone and all of my electronic devices set up so that I can receive notifications for for news in general. There's a lot of stuff that comes through on my phones that I just don't talk about because it's not relevant. I know you guys want to know about the money, you want to know about resources, so that's what I'm giving you. But if there's nothing that comes up for your state, then it's not that I'm doing it on purpose. It's just maybe your state hasn't released any information, or maybe there are no programs available for me to talk about. Okay, so but at the same time, it's possible that other YouTubers may actually have that information. So you guys don't charge it to me like as if I'm like, I have something against this state. I don't. For a long time, I wasn't really talking much about my state because they weren't really doing anything. Now they are. So just saying. But anyways, it says an infrastructure and economic recovery plan. Now, this is in regards to the child tax credits that are due to go out very soon in July. Now, from what we know from the IRS, I think the IRS secretary did release some information saying that the portal, which will allow you to opt out if you don't want to receive those benefits, you can opt out of that once the portal is up and running in July. It's supposed to be up and running in July 1st. They've been going back and forth whether they were going to do these payments on a quarterly basis, meaning maybe every 3 months, like that, or if they're going to do it monthly. As far as I know right now, it's going to be on a monthly basis, and you're going to receive 6 months of those payments, depending on how many dependents that you have. So let's just keep it easy. Let's say that you have 3 children under the age of 6, then you're going to get $300 per child. So you're going to get $900 a month. Okay. You're going to receive that for 6 months. And then whatever is left of your credit, you get $3,600 per child that is 6 and under. So whatever is left of that $3,600 times 3 at the end of the year, you will receive that once you file your taxes in 2022. Now, don't forget, you guys, I did also mention that depending on your income, because they're going based off of your 2020 income, they don't have your 2021 income. So you want to be mindful for those of you who are actually deciding to use this credit in these monthly payments going forward, that there's a possibility that if you end up making more money, that will make you ineligible for the full amount of the credit next year, that you may have to pay some of that money back. I'm just saying, I want you guys to be aware with everything that's going on. I myself cannot afford to have any extra unnecessary bills, especially to the IRS, that I have to pay back. So I know for myself personally, I won't be getting these credits until next year. Okay. But anyways, An infrastructure and economic recovery plan currently in the works would extend monthly payments from the child tax credit by several years, according to those familiar with the initial plan. So the 1 trillion American Families Plan will likely include $500 billion in tax credits, okay, with an expansion of child care programs, paid leave, pre-K education, and tax credits for families. The White House is expected to announce details of the plan within 30 days, okay? Biden's 1.9 trillion American Rescue Plan passed in March to help buffer the economic blows from the coronavirus pandemic, expanded the existing child tax credit for 1 year to $3,000 for each child age 6 to 17 and $3,600 for each child under the age of 6. Families will receive monthly payments of $250 or $300 per child starting in July, running through December. Under the current plan, the remainder can be claimed as a credit on the 2021 taxes when they are filed in 2021. Excuse me. However, the new proposal is expected to extend the credit and payments through 2025, but not make it permanent. So this is another aspect of the child tax credit that they have been going back and forth tussling about. Some wanted to be a permanent raise. Some of them wanted to just be, okay, well, maybe we should just do it for the next 4 or 5 years. Okay, so right now they're talking about expanding it all the way up and through 2025. So I definitely think I don't think it's a bad idea. You guys let me know what you think. I know a lot of you are still trying to work out the parameters of receiving money that the government already owes you. But would you guys be down for this being permanent, or do you think it should just be temporarily, maybe for the next 4 or so years? All right. Says Democrats pushing Biden to propose permanent extension of unemployment benefits. Democrats on the Hill are pushing President Biden to propose permanently expanding unemployment benefits offered during the pandemic. They are pressing for changes in federal standards as a part of an anti-poverty package Biden is expected to announce next week. Ultimately, unemployment programs are largely run on a state level. However, in a letter to the White House, 40 House Democrats propose increasing jobless benefits, extending the duration of weekly benefits, expanding the pool of eligibility, and creating a system that would tie payments to changing economic conditions, according to the Wall Street Journal. Okay, since the pandemic took off, Congress has increased jobless payments a number of times, first adding $600 weekly to payments in the CARES Act until December, and then most recently adding $300 weekly supplement that will last through September. So if you guys didn't know, the current pandemic unemployment benefits $300 boost goes all the way up, I believe, up until September the 4th. Okay, so the CARES Act emergency programs must be extended to support jobless workers for the duration of the current economic downturn. But we must also fix the underlying problem facing our unemployment insurance system so that it can provide economic security for all workers. Lawmakers also included that in their letter, okay? The White House has been studying unemployment changes, and Democrats on Capitol Hill have been in communication with the administration on the matter. It's not clear if the White House will address the changes in its forthcoming poverty plan. That measure is expected to be priced at around $1 trillion and include funding for paid leave, tuition-free community college, and universal pre-kindergartens. Okay, of course, we've got some pushback from Republicans who have argued that such generous payments discourage people from seeking employment when they could be paid more on unemployment, hurting small businesses. I don't necessarily agree with that. I know that there are several people close to me that have received unemployment, $300 a week added on to whatever they're getting. And this is what they don't get. They don't take the time to go into all of the information. We've said this before. $300 a week is just the boost. But let's just say if that person, if they, whatever job that they had, most times you only get what? You only get like 40, 50%, at least out here, of whatever your normal wages was. So for a person that's most likely not going to get their full paycheck without that $300 boost, I do understand the pushback for people who may be making extreme amounts of money, but I don't think that that's the reality for a lot of people who are receiving unemployment benefits. Some people are receiving $50 a week without that $300 boost, so now they're receiving $350 a week, which gives them $700 for 2 weeks. That's not an obscene amount of money to get paid. And in reality, that's $1,400 a month, which in California you can't do nothing with. You can't do nothing. You can't pay you can't pay a mortgage. If you did pay your mortgage, let's just say your mortgage was $1,100, you got $300 left. If you're not receiving any assistance from any other governmental programs like SNAP or CalWorks, or anything like that, which 9 times out of 10, if you're a single person with no dependents, you're not, because that's above the income limits, then you're not getting any extra assistance. So you have $300 to try to make that work for food, your utilities, and whatever other bills that you may have already accumulated. So, I mean, I understand if that was actually the case where people were making, let's just say people were making $2,000 a week off of unemployment, but I don't necessarily see that being the case. I think they're just over exaggerating, and honestly, this is just another tactic, or just something else for them to complain about, just so that they don't have to say yes to giving more money to the American people. That's just my personal opinion about that. Okay, now this I found to be interesting, not necessarily having to do anything with money, but it says that the House passed a bill recently prohibiting mandatory vaccines. Hospital employees and healthcare students will still be expected to receive them, though. It says the House passed a bill prohibiting government mandated vaccines, of course, for the virus or any of its variants. Also amended, the bill would also exempt pre-K through 12 students from having to receive the vaccine in order to attend any schools or child care facilities. It would also strike the law that makes it a Class C misdemeanor for anyone who refuses to be vaccinated or refuses to vaccinate someone under their care. I definitely agree with that. I mean, everybody can't get the vaccine. I have a child that can't get that. She's allergic to almost everything, so she can't get this vaccine. So I don't want to be worried about, I mean, she's not going back to school anyway. I pretty much already said if that was an issue, I would just do homeschooling for my kids. I would just have to make it work around whatever I have going on, because I just don't feel that the public is all that safe right now for anybody. That's just me. But I do like the fact that they are, you guys have to excuse me, I know my allergies are messing up again. I don't know why. I just woke up today and I felt like somebody got their hand around my throat. But anyways, yeah, I agree with that. I'm glad that they took it off. I mean, come on, you're going to give a person the damn misdemeanor on their record just for not going and get vaccinated. And nowadays people take anything on your record seriously, because that's going to make it more difficult for a person to get a job. They're worried about the economy, but you're putting more roadblocks in the way, or they would have put more roadblocks in the way if this had not happened. Okay. It says, furthermore, this bill would prohibit state government and agencies from mandating a person undergo medical treatment if they object based on religious grounds or their right of conscience. However, the bill wouldn't protect college or university students enrolled in programs or fields of study involving healthcare professions such as medicine, dentistry, or pharmacy. So on that note, I do agree. If you're a medical student, I was a medical student when I was in nursing school. We were expected to, we had to get our titers. For those of you who don't know what that is, we had to have our blood drawn to see if we had received those vaccinations that usually you get when you're a child that helps boost up your immune system against, chicken pox and things of that nature, all of those other illnesses that were very, 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 very prominent back in the days or whatever. And then if you didn't show a certain amount of resistance or immunity in your blood, then you were given those vaccinations because you were going to be going into an environment where you could be exposed to them. So for that, I do understand that. But just everybody in general, I mean, yeah, we can be exposed at any point in time, but I just don't think that they should put that strain on us to say we have to, or you're going to get something on your record, or your kids can't go to school, or whatever the case is, okay? There was one more bill that I wanted to talk to you guys about. Let me see if I can find it really quick. I know this video was long, but there's just so much information that I didn't get to speak to you guys yesterday, and I definitely didn't want to go another day and have this being old news. You know what I'm saying? It's still good news to me, most of it. So here we go. It says the House passes a bill to combat gender pay gap. Okay, now, ladies, y'all know what I'm talking about. The House passed legislation just recently aimed at reducing gender-based pay discrimination and increasing employer accountability. Lawmakers approved the bill titled the Paycheck Fairness Act, 217 to 210 vote, okay, with one Republican joining with Democrats in support. House Democrats previously passed the legislation 2 years ago, but it never got traction in the Republican-controlled Senate. Even though Democrats now hold the Senate majority, it's unclear whether the bill will be able to secure enough votes to overcome a GOP filibuster. So they've still got some hoops to jump through in order to make this a permanent in law thing, okay? But so far it's passed the House, all right? Under the legislation, employers will be limited to justifying pay differentials in wage discrimination claims to bona fide factors such as education, training, or experience, and would be prohibited from retaliating against employees who compare salaries. Employers would also be barred from inquiring about prospective employees' salary histories during the hiring process. This bill would further direct the Labor Department to establish a grant program providing negotiation skills and training for girls and women. You know what? Hallelujah. High five. I must say that this one out of everything has definitely, this one right here hit home, because I feel like as a whole, us women, you know what I mean? We get a lot of backlash, you know, whenever we go out there and try to support ourselves in any shape or you know what I'm saying? In any manner, we get backlash. There's always something going on with that. There's always some negativity that comes from that. Okay. And I do believe that realistically for a very long time, it's another subject that people don't want to talk about. The fact that they will pay a man slightly higher or sometimes significantly higher for a position that a woman will hold. The same position, but the man is getting higher just simply because he's a man. And of course the woman, you know what I'm saying? She's just expected to just deal with it because she's a woman or go home and take care of her kids. Okay. Y'all know what I'm talking about. But I definitely thought that that was some great information. Like I said, they've still got some hoops to jump through to make this law, but I'm happy and finally satisfied with the fact that they're making some headway and they're actually giving us our credit for the fact that women are out there doing what they have to do. And it's not a strike at men. It's about us learning ourselves and wanting to be independent and wanting to be self-sufficient as well. You know what I mean? If we can have babies, we can have jobs too. We're not limited to just giving birth to children and that's it. Okay. Because if that's the case, then I feel like we should get paid for that realistically, because if it wasn't for us, it wouldn't be nobody here. Wouldn't be no constituents in the world if it wasn't for the women. Right. So, moving on, I think that was pretty much it. I did have one more article, but this video is already pretty significantly long right now. I just had to give you guys all that information. I hope this information was in some way helpful or useful to you guys. Definitely stay tuned at some point today. I don't know when. My babies are here. I want to have family day. We're going to be watching movies all day, and I have to do their hair. You guys know I have 6 girls, so I've got my hands full. I'm going to be shampooing and blow drying and doing hair pretty much for the rest of the day. But at some point, I will take a break. I do want to come on here and go live with you guys, and I'm going to go through as much information as I possibly can regarding pandemic EBT as well as emergency SNAP allotments. We've got those 3 states that have been added to the emergency SNAP, 2 states that have been added to the emergency SNAP allotments for the month of May, and I do have their payout information. But more importantly, I know that a lot of people, especially some of my new subscribers, are coming on and they want to know about pandemic EBT for their states. So I'm going to have my laptop up and I'm going to just go through those states in alphabetical order and give you guys as much information in regards to when those payments should have or will be going out for pandemic EBT school year 2020-2021. So definitely stay tuned for that. It's going to be later on. I don't know what time. I'm going to say between 6 and 7, but don't hold me to it, okay? But on that note, you guys, I'm going to say remember to live, love, and elevate. And I will definitely see you guys in the next video. Peace.